Welcome to our channel Wisdom of Stoicism. There are things in life you should never tolerate. Not for a moment. Not for anyone. These are the things that drain your energy, break your spirit, and hold you back from becoming the person you were meant to be. If you let them slide, they will slowly take over your life. And before you know it, you're stuck, surrounded by toxic people, bad habits, and situations that make you feel powerless. The Stoics had one simple rule: control what you can, let go of what you can't. And that starts with refusing to tolerate what no longer serves you. In this video, we will go through 110 things you should never tolerate and the types of people you must stay away from. If you want to live a strong, independent, and peaceful life, these lessons are non-negotiable. So sit back, take notes, and most importantly, decide today that you will no longer allow these things into your life. Because the moment you stop tolerating what is dragging you down, you free yourself to rise. Let's begin. Thing 1. Guard your energy like a sacred fire. Imagine your energy as a sacred fire. A fire that fuels your passions, drives your ambitions, and keeps you grounded in the midst of life's chaos. Now, think about how careful you are when handling fire. You wouldn't just throw it around recklessly or allow anyone to come too close, right? Your energy works the same way. It's precious and must be protected. In today's world, we often get caught up in other people's drama, negativity, and demands. We let ourselves be drained by people who don't respect our time, our emotions, or our well-being. It's easy to fall into this trap because we want to be kind, we want to help, or we simply want to avoid conflict. But here's the hard truth. Not everything, and certainly not everyone, is worth your energy. You've probably had days where you feel exhausted, not because you physically worked hard, but because you spent hours listening to someone complain, argue, or bring negativity into your life. Maybe you've dealt with people who gossip, who criticize others constantly, or who just seem to drain your mental strength without giving anything back. These are the energy vampires. And trust me, you need to keep your distance from them. Think about it like this. When you spend time with people who don't add value to your life, whether it's emotionally, intellectually, or spiritually, you're throwing your energy into a fire that never burns bright. Instead, it just flickers and fades. The Stoics had a simple rule about energy. They understood that you can't control how others behave, but you can control how you react to them. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That means you're in charge of your energy, and you don't have to give it away freely. Protect it like a sacred fire. So, how do you guard your energy? First, recognize that not every relationship is meant to last forever. Some people are only in your life for a season, and that season might be over. Let go of the ones who no longer serve your growth, and stop letting people take your peace. Second, set boundaries. Healthy boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary for your well-being. Whether it's limiting the time you spend with negative individuals or saying no to demands that drain you, boundaries allow you to preserve your energy for the things that matter most. And remember, it's okay to be selective about who you invest your time in. The right people will lift you up, challenge you in positive ways, and support you in your goals. These are the people you should surround yourself with. Your energy will multiply in the presence of those who encourage your growth, not in those who seek to hold you back. Guarding your energy isn't just about avoiding negative people. It's also about protecting your own peace of mind. Practice self-care, take breaks, and do things that recharge you. Whether it's reading, meditating, working out, or simply spending time in nature, find what restores your energy and make it a priority. Your energy is your most valuable asset, and it's time to start treating it that way. Just like fire. When you protect it and use it wisely, it will burn brighter than ever before. Thing 2. Do not compromise your principles. We all face moments in life where we're pressured to make a choice that goes against our core beliefs. It might be a job offer that seems too good to pass up, but it requires you to compromise your ethics. Or it could be a relationship where you're expected to change who you are to fit in. No matter how tempting the offer or how much pressure you feel, never compromise your principles. Your principles are the foundation of who you are. They are what give you strength, clarity, and purpose. When you start bending them even a little, you risk losing yourself. Scene transitions to someone reluctantly agreeing to a deal that doesn't feel right, only to regret it later. We've all been there. The temptation to conform, to please others, or to take the easier route can be overwhelming. But if you give in to that temptation, you may find yourself in a situation where you're stuck, unhappy, and no longer at peace with who you are. It's crucial to remember that every decision you make should align with your values, even if it means standing alone. It's easy to justify compromises. People might tell you it's just this once, or that the situation is different, but deep down, you know that compromising your principles is a slippery slope. Once you bend the rules once, it becomes easier to do it again. Scene shifts to a person reflecting in a quiet room, thinking back to a decision they made and how it affected their sense of self. Think about it. Would you want to look back on your life and realize that you gave up on what you truly believed for temporary gain or approval? The Stoics knew this well. They believed that your character is everything. And once you compromise your character, you lose your integrity, which is hard to get back. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That means, instead of getting caught up in justifications or explanations, you need to act in alignment with your values. When you do this, you're not just showing strength to others, you're reinforcing your own sense of self-respect. Scene transitions to someone turning down a tempting offer that doesn't sit right with them, smiling as they feel proud of their decision. It's not always easy. In fact, it can be incredibly hard, especially when the world around you is telling you to do the opposite. But in the long run, staying true to yourself will bring you more peace and fulfillment than any temporary success could. So, remember this: never sacrifice your principles. Don't let the world, the opinions of others, or the promise of easy gains make you lose sight of who you are and what you stand for. In the end, your principles are the only thing that will never let you down. Thing 3. Beware of those who manipulate. There are people in this world who will twist your words, play with your emotions, and make you doubt your own reality. These are the manipulators, the ones who pretend to care but are only looking out for themselves. First, they seem helpful, charming, even kind. They know exactly what to say to win your trust. But over time, you start to notice something. You feel drained, confused, and uncertain. Every time there's a disagreement, it somehow becomes your fault. Every time you try to stand up for yourself, they make you feel guilty. This is no accident. Manipulators are experts at controlling people without them even realizing it. They use guilt, fear, and even kindness as weapons. They make you second-guess yourself. They twist reality to serve their own interests. You need to recognize the signs before it's too late. Here's how manipulators operate. First, they play the victim. No matter what happens, it's never their fault. They always have a sob story, always an excuse. They want your sympathy, not your wisdom. If you call them out, they will make you feel like you're the bad guy. Second, they gaslight. This means they deny things they've said or done even when you have proof. They make you question your own memory, your own perception. "I never said that. You're just overreacting. You always take things the wrong way." These phrases are red flags. If someone makes you doubt your own reality, they are manipulating you. Third, they use guilt as a weapon. They make you feel like you owe them something, even when you don't. If you try to say no, they say things like, "After everything I've done for you," or "I guess you don't care about me." They are not asking for your help. They are demanding your obedience. Fourth, they control with kindness. Not all manipulators are aggressive. Some will shower you with compliments and favors, but there's always a price. The moment you stop doing what they want, the kindness disappears. They didn't care about you, they cared about controlling you. So what do? The answer is simple: walk away. You do not owe anyone your peace of mind. You do not need to explain yourself to someone who refuses to listen. If someone constantly manipulates, confuses, or drains you, they do not belong in your life. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and your thoughts are shaped by the people around you." If someone poisons your mind with lies, fear, and guilt, they are not worth your time. You deserve honesty. You deserve respect. You deserve peace. Never tolerate manipulation. Recognize it, reject it, and remove it from your life. Now ask yourself, who in your life is truly lifting you up, and who is quietly pulling you down? Thing 4. Do not let others diminish your dreams. Your dreams are yours. No one else has the right to tell you what you can or cannot achieve. But here's the truth, many people will try. Some will laugh at your goals. Others will say you're aiming too high. And a few will try to make you feel foolish for even trying. Why? Because most people fear what they don't understand. And when they see someone chasing a dream, it reminds them of the dreams they gave up on. Instead of supporting you, they project their own failures onto you. You tell someone you want to start a business. They say, that's risky. You tell them you want to get in the best shape of your life. They say, you're too old for that. You say you want to move to a new city, chase new opportunities, and reinvent yourself. They say, why would you do that? Just be happy with what you have. Understand this, these people don't hate your dreams. They hate the idea that you might succeed while they stay stuck. And if you listen to them, you'll start doubting yourself. You'll start believing that maybe they're right, that maybe your dreams are too big, that maybe you should play it safe. But playing it safe has never changed the world. Playing it safe has never led to greatness. Think about the most successful people in history. Every single one of them was told at some point that their dreams were impossible. Elon Musk was laughed at for wanting to build electric cars. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Walt Disney was fired from a job because they said he lacked creativity. Imagine if they had listened. So here's what you do. Stop seeking validation. Stop waiting for people to understand your vision. Most won't, and that's okay. Instead, protect your dreams like they are the most valuable thing you own. Because they are. Surround yourself with people who push you forward, not hold you back. People who challenge you to grow, not shrink. People who say, go for it, instead of, that will never work. And if you can't find those people, then walk alone. Because a dream unpursued is a life wasted. So, the next time someone tries to talk you out of your dreams, smile, thank them for their opinion, and then prove them wrong. Thing 5. Do not surrender your identity for others. Have you ever caught yourself changing just to fit in? Maybe you started dressing differently, speaking in a way that didn't feel natural, or pretending to enjoy things you really didn't. So, you're not alone. It happens to almost everyone at some point. But here's the truth. When you change who you are just to make others happy, you lose yourself. Stoicism teaches us that our identity, who we are at our core, is one of the most valuable things we have. It's shaped by our values, our beliefs, and our experiences. And yet, the world constantly pressures us to mold ourselves into something else. Friends, family, society, even social media can all make us feel like we have to act a certain way just to be accepted. But here's the hard truth. If you change yourself just to fit in, you will never truly belong. You will always feel like an outsider, even in a room full of people. Think about this. How many times have you said yes when you wanted to say no? How many times have you stayed silent when you should have spoken up? How many times have you gone along with something just to avoid conflict? Every time you do that, you chip away at your real self. You start living someone else's version of your life. And the more you do it, the harder it becomes to recognize yourself. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "Be satisfied with your own self. Don't waste time desiring the approval of others. This is what true strength looks like. Being able to stand firm in who you are, no matter what others think. Because at the end of the day, their opinions don't define you, you do." Now, let's be clear. This doesn't mean you should ignore all advice or refuse to grow as a person. Self-improvement is essential. But there's a difference between growing into a better version of yourself and changing just to be liked. Real growth comes from within. It's about becoming more of who you truly are, not less. So what can you do? First, pay attention to when you feel pressured to be someone else. Notice when you're doing things just to impress others or gain approval. Ask yourself, is this really me? Second, surround yourself with people who accept you for who you are. True friends won't ask you to change. They'll respect you, even when they don't agree with you. And finally, trust yourself. You don't need permission to be who you are. The more confident you become in your own skin, the less you'll feel the need to seek validation from others. The world doesn't need a copy of someone else. It needs you, the real you. So never, ever surrender your identity for anyone. Thing 6. Be mindful of superficial relationships. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Not everyone who says they care about you actually does. Life is full of people who come and go. Some stay for a reason, others for a season. But then there are those who only show up when they need something. The ones who disappear when things get tough. The ones who act like they're close to you but don't really care about your well-being. Superficial relationships are dangerous. They give you a false sense of connection, but when you need real support, they vanish. These relationships drain your time, energy, and emotions without giving anything meaningful in return. Have you ever noticed how some people only call you when they need a favor? Or how certain friends disappear when you're struggling but suddenly show up when you're doing well? That's not a real friendship. That's convenience. A true friend doesn't just show up when life is easy. They stand by you through the storms. They don't just celebrate your success. They support you through your failures. And most importantly, they don't keep score. They don't count how many times they helped you versus how many times you helped them. They just show up because they care. Superficial relationships, on the other hand, are all about what they can get from you. They're built on status, money, or benefits. They survive on gossip, small talk, and appearances. But when life gets real, when you're facing a crisis or need genuine emotional support, these people disappear. So, here's the truth. If someone only values you when you're useful to them, that's not a friend. If someone only reaches out when they need something, that's not a relationship. If someone is never there when you truly need them, they don't deserve a place in your life. The Stoics believed that the people you surround yourself with shape your mind, your habits, and ultimately your life. Seneca once said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you, because the wrong people can make you bitter, weak, and distracted. The right ones will push you to grow, stay true to yourself, and become better every day." So ask yourself, who do you keep around? Do they bring real value to your life, or do they take more than they give? It's time to cut off the superficial relationships. Stop entertaining people who only show up when they need something. Stop giving energy to friendships that are all surface level. You deserve real, meaningful connections. People who respect you, support you, and show up when it matters. Because at the end of the day, you don't need 100 fake friends. You just need a few real ones. Thing 7. Learn to let go of what no longer serves you. There comes a point in life when holding on does more damage than letting go. But here's the problem. Most people are afraid of letting go. They hold on to toxic relationships, past mistakes, and old versions of themselves because it feels familiar. But familiarity doesn't mean it's good for you. Think about it. How many times have you kept a friendship alive even though it was draining you? How many times have you replayed a painful memory in your head, as if reliving it would change the outcome? We cling to things out of fear of being alone, fear of change, fear of the unknown. The truth is, life moves forward. And if you refuse to let go of what's holding you back, you'll never reach what's ahead. Let's talk about relationships. Some people come into your life as lessons, not lifelong companions. The biggest mistake you can make is forcing someone to stay in your life when their role in your story is already over. If someone consistently disrespects you, drains your energy, or makes you question your worth, it's time to walk away. No apologies, no second guessing, just walk. And what about the past? Many people are trapped in their own history. They replay old mistakes, beat themselves up over bad decisions, and hold grudges against people who have long moved on. But here's the thing, your past only has power over you if you keep feeding it. Every moment you spend stuck in the past is a moment stolen from your future. Letting go isn't about pretending something never happened. It's about accepting that it happened, learning from it, and then choosing to move forward. The Stoics believed that suffering comes from attachment. The more you attach yourself to things outside your control, the more you suffer. So what can you do? First, accept that not everything is meant to stay. People change. Situations change. You change. And that's okay. Second, focus on what you can control. You can't change the past, but you can control how you respond to it. You can't force someone to respect you, but you can remove them from your life. You can't undo a mistake, but you can learn from it and do better moving forward. Third, trust that letting go creates space for something better. Every time you release something toxic, you make room for something healthy. Every time you walk away from what no longer serves you, you step closer to the life you deserve. Letting go isn't weakness. It's power. It's saying, I deserve better, and actually doing something about it. So ask yourself right now, what's one thing in your life that, deep down you need to let go of? It could be a person, a habit, a belief, or even a version of yourself that no longer fits who you are becoming. Whatever it is, make today the day you start moving forward. Because the longer you hold on to the past, the longer you delay your future. And that's the mindset of a true Stoic. Thing 8. Cultivate self-compassion. Look in the mirror. What do you see? Most people don't see their strengths. They see their flaws, the things they wish they could change, the mistakes they've made, the imperfections. We are often our own worst enemies. The way we speak to ourselves, the way we judge ourselves, it's harsher than how we treat anyone else. Think about it. If a friend made a mistake, would you call them a failure? If someone you cared about was struggling, would you tell them they're not good enough? Of course not. So why do you do it to yourself? Self-compassion is not self-pity. It's not making excuses. It's not about ignoring your flaws. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and patience you would give to a friend. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It all depends on how you train it." Self-compassion starts with awareness. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Would you say those things to someone you love? If not, stop saying them to yourself. Then comes acceptance. Understand that you are human. You will fail. You will struggle. You will have bad days. That does not make you weak. That makes you normal. And finally, growth. Every time you fall, see it as a lesson, not a punishment. Every mistake you make is an opportunity to do better next time. Think of it like this. Life is like a garden. If you keep tearing out the roots every time something doesn't grow fast enough, you'll never see the beauty. But if you nurture it, give it time, and allow it to grow, you'll see something amazing. The same goes for you. So stop punishing yourself for not being perfect. Stop carrying the weight of every mistake you've ever made. Stop measuring your worth by impossible standards. Instead, start being kind to yourself. Start forgiving yourself. Start treating yourself like someone who deserves love, patience, and respect, because you do. And the moment you do that, something incredible happens. You stop needing validation from others. You stop fearing failure. You stop doubting yourself. You become unstoppable. Because a person who stands by themselves, who lifts themselves up instead of tearing themselves down, becomes unbreakable. So from this moment forward, make a promise. Promise to yourself. You will be kind to yourself. You will encourage yourself. You will be your own greatest supporter. Because if you don't, who will? Let me know your thoughts. Would you like any tweaks to the tone or pacing? Thing 9. Build resilience through adversity. Life is unpredictable. Sometimes, it feels like everything is against you. The job you wanted falls through, a relationship ends, or you face a personal setback. In those moments, it's easy to feel defeated. But what if I told you that every obstacle in your life, no matter how big or small, has the potential to make you stronger? We all face hardships. It's part of being human. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the things that challenge us the most are often the very things that help us grow. Resilience isn't about avoiding life's difficulties. It's about how we handle them when they arise. When adversity strikes, it's tempting to give in to frustration, anger, or even despair. But the Stoics teach us to embrace those struggles with open arms, knowing that they are opportunities for growth. Scene: a person lifting weights in the gym, struggling but pushing through the challenge. Think about physical exercise for a moment. When you lift weights, your muscles tear and break down, but it's this process of breaking down and rebuilding that makes them stronger. Life works the same way. The challenges you face, the hardships you go through, they break you down temporarily, but over time, they rebuild you into a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Now, let's talk about how to build this resilience. First, it's important to understand that you can't control what happens to you. You can't control whether you lose a job, face a health crisis, or deal with difficult people. But what you can control is your response. Scene: a person sitting quietly in meditation, finding calm despite the chaos around them. When faced with adversity, take a step back and breathe. Give yourself space to process what's happening. You're not weak for feeling overwhelmed, but you are in control of how you choose to respond. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can I grow from this? These questions don't make the pain go away, but they do shift your mindset from victimhood to empowerment. Another key to building resilience is acceptance. Not acceptance in the sense of giving up, but acceptance in understanding that hardship is a part of life. You can't avoid it, but you can choose how to face it. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, once said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Scene: a person helping someone else in need, showing compassion. Resilience also comes from empathy and connection. When we face challenges, we often think we're alone in our struggles. But the truth is, everyone has their own battles. By connecting with others, offering support, and asking for help when we need it, we build a network of resilience around us. The Stoics believed that adversity is not something to avoid, but something to learn from. The next time life throws a curveball your way, remember, the obstacle is the way. Each challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger, to become more resilient, and to shape yourself into the person you are meant to be. Scene: a person walking confidently through a storm, now standing tall with their head held high. So, the next time you face adversity, don't run from it. Lean into it. Let it teach you, shape you, and make you stronger, because you are more resilient than you think. And with every challenge you overcome, you are one step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Thing 10. Take responsibility for your happiness. We often look outside ourselves for happiness, waiting for the right person, the perfect job, or the ideal circumstances. But here's the truth. Happiness is not something that happens to you. It's something you create. The power to be happy lies within you, not in the world around you. Too many people spend their lives looking for external sources of happiness. We think that when we get that promotion, buy that new car, or find the perfect relationship, we'll finally be happy. But what happens when those things don't bring the joy we expected? We move on to the next thing, hoping for the same result, but it never quite works. It's like chasing a shadow. Taking responsibility for your happiness means realizing that you are in control. No one else can make you happy. That's a powerful thought, because it means you have the ability to change how you feel, regardless of what's happening around you. Let's break this down. We all have setbacks. Maybe you've been through tough times. Maybe you've been hurt or disappointed by people or situations. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that these external things are what define your happiness. But that's not the Stoic way. The Stoics believed that we should focus on what's within our control, and that includes our reactions to the world. You can't control how people treat you or the circumstances you find yourself in, but you can control how you respond. If you choose to let negative situations define your happiness, then you're handing over the power to those situations. But if you choose to focus on what you can change, your thoughts, your mindset, and your actions, you take back control. Think about it. Every time something happens that frustrates you, ask yourself, how can I respond in a way that keeps my peace? It might be stepping away from a toxic situation, reframing a negative thought, or simply deciding to focus on the good things in your life. Happiness comes from making these choices. It's not a one-time decision, but a constant practice of looking inward and choosing peace over frustration. One of the most important things to remember is that happiness is a journey, not a destination. There is no magical moment when you'll have everything you want and suddenly feel happy. Happiness comes from appreciating what you have now and making the most of the present. You have the ability to find joy in the little things, the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of your favorite music, the kindness of a friend. Happiness doesn't need to come from grand achievements. It's found in the simple moments of life. When you stop waiting for happiness to come to you and instead take responsibility for creating it yourself, you begin to see life in a whole new way. Remember, the Stoics taught that our internal peace is more important than anything external. No matter what happens, you have the power to choose how you respond. When you start taking full responsibility for your happiness, you'll realize that the power has always been in your hands. So, ask yourself today, what can I do to take control of my happiness? The answer is simple. Start with yourself. Shift your mindset, appreciate the present, and take responsibility for your own peace. When you do, you'll find that happiness isn't as far away as you thought. It's right here waiting for you to claim it. Thank you for sticking with me through this video. I know it was a long one, but I hope you found something here that resonated with you. Life is too short to tolerate things that drain us or keep us from becoming the best version of ourselves. We all face challenges, and it's easy to let the wrong people or negative situations hold us back. But remember, the Stoic mindset is all about taking control of what we can and letting go of what we can't. If you've learned something today, whether it's the importance of guarding your energy, standing firm in your principles, or learning to let go of toxic relationships, I encourage you to take these lessons with you. Don't let the people who don't serve you keep you from living the life you deserve. Surround yourself with those who uplift, challenge, and support you. And remember, it's okay to walk away from situations and people that aren't right for you. Your happiness and peace of mind come first. Life is about growth, and every step you take toward a more intentional, mindful existence is a step toward becoming your best self. If this video has helped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the list we covered today. What resonates most with you? What will you start applying in your life from now on? Drop a comment below and let's keep this conversation going. Thanks again for watching. Stay strong, stay focused, and always protect your peace. I'll see you in the next video.